He walked by and he sat down next to me and he breathed. Oh my God, did he breathe? He was so fine when he breathed. Hey guys, it's me, Navi, and welcome back to my channel. And of course, if you're new here, welcome baby, I'm very glad you're here. Welcome back to yet again another episode of More Times That I Got Played and Why You Shouldn't Give Men Privileges. Last episode I did my middle school relationships, and the episode before that I did my elementary school relationships. So, get your tea and crumpets ready, because if you thought middle school and elementary school was the peak, it's not. High school gets much worse. Freshman year, I was focused, I was ready. Oh, but before I spill the tea, if you guys could do me a huge favor, if you could please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and of course watch to the end of this video. Okay, I was focused, I was ready, my goals were set. I had no intention of playing any games of any kind. And then a football player with a taper walked by.
I cannot believe my eyes.
My standards were so low back then, it's ridiculous. He walked by and he sat down next to me and he breathed. Oh my God, did he breathe? Ridiculously low. Like, that's ridiculous. That is sad. I don't know what was wrong with me back then, but he was so fine when he breathed. I am the type of person where if a cute guy opens the door for me, oh baby, I will think about that for months, weeks, years. I have a problem. But see, my freshman year, I was really shy. Like, I hated people, I hated confrontation, I hated conversation, I hated all of that. So like, I kept to myself and like, I didn't really talk much, but I still wanted his attention. So what I did was, I existed, but I existed with a passion. Like, I didn't talk to him directly or like say anything to him or interact with him, but I existed with a passion, and I feel like that's what got me where I am today. This is why I'm different from other girls, because unlike other girls, I know how to exist with a passion, and that's how he became attracted to me. I used my existence, like my magnetic and universal attraction, and with a little bit of manifestation, that I got him to say hi to me. And that is different. That's different. That is why I'm a different breed. That is why I'm a different breed. He ended up talking to me first because he couldn't help but notice my existence. That is the tip that I give to you introverts today. If you don't know how to talk to him or approach him, that is okay. Just as long as you exist with a passion. Radiate. Radiate. He will come to you. Just radiate. Radiate. Let that existence pull him towards you. Once I got him talking to me, I thought that the rest was gonna be cake. I just thought to myself, okay, cool, cat's in the bag. We're talking, eventually we'll end up liking each other, and then he'll confess it to me first, and then we'll end up dating and all this other crap. It's not gonna be like what happened in middle school. And if you don't know what happened in middle school, the link is in my description. But see, a little detail that I failed to take into consideration is the fact that he was an extrovert and I was an introvert. So what does that mean? It means he was also talking to other girls, and my existence apparently didn't mean anything to him. So I was like, oh, you're just gonna overlook my existence like this? Even though the other girls were talking to you and communicating with you and keeping up with you, you're just gonna ignore my existence with a passion? Oh, we'll see. We'll see. And so I enlisted some help from my homegirls. I didn't exactly tell them that I liked him, because I don't do that kind of thing anymore. I grew past that. I didn't tell them directly, but they kind of caught a hint because of the way that I acted around him. I'm sorry, the way that I existed around him. I enlisted help from my homegirls, and I still lost. This is what happened. Gave him snacks in class. Like, I carried food to class, and he would like ask me if I would bring him some the next day, and I would bring him some the next day, and it didn't work. So I was like, okay, new tactic. I let him copy off the answers of my homeworks and tests and quizzes. When we did group projects, guess who was the one that was carrying the group? The nerd, me. The farthest I ever made it was that I got his snap, and literally, and all we ever did, like all he ever texted me about was answers to homework and food. You would think that I could come up with like a way to communicate off of that, but no, I didn't. I couldn't, because like all he did was dry text me the entire time. He would ask me for something and I'd give it to him, and I really thought that I was benefiting the team because he was a football player, so he was like constantly busy, and so he would like look to me for help in school. And so I thought, well, maybe he'd see me as like something more, because I'm here, I exist. And he didn't catch on. He didn't catch on. I don't understand. This is why you don't give athletes the chance, honey. Athletes, I don't know what it is with them, but it's like I can never, there's really just no getting there with athletes. I found that out the hard way. And then eventually he moved away to, I don't know, like Alabama, Mississippi, somewhere. And like a flat ass, he never looked back at me ever again. And then we fast forward to sophomore and junior year. This next little, not really a relationship, but it was a talking phase more likely than that. This occurred throughout sophomore and junior year. That's how long it spanned. Sophomore year, I had moved to a new neighborhood. I was minding my business like I was freshman year. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't really associate much. And not to mention that I was still feeling kind of hurt after what happened to me freshman year. Like I had to really recover from that blow. That blow really hurt. Little did I know that this one would hurt even worse. Sophomore year, I had a friend who was a freshman. We had met in middle school and became really close, and then when I left middle school and went over to high school, we still kept in touch. And by the time she became a freshman, we were still close around that time. We still talked to each other, texted, all that stuff. So on the first day of freshman year for her / sophomore year for me, I sat at her lunch table and like we caught up with each other, chit-chatted, all that stuff. And like it kind of became a routine thing. Like I would sit at her lunch table and like I'd sit with her and all her friends, and like we all just kind of mutually communicated with each other, mutually became friends. That is where the guy that broke my heart into a million, quadrillion, gazillion pieces comes into the story. He sat at our lunch table as well, but see, at the time, I did not know who he was. We did not know each other. So I make jokes and everybody laughs and we're all talking and having a good time. I'm like the clown of the party. And then lunch is over and we all leave and go our separate ways. I go home, go about my day. Until the next day is when I finally meet him and find out who he is. He recognizes me and he walks up to me and like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but like he basically recognized me from sitting at the lunch table with them. And I was like, wait a minute, you live here? And he was like, yeah. And he told me how funny I was, and I was like, thanks, that's kind of how I make friends. He lived down the street from me. He no longer lives there anymore, but he lived down the street from me, and it was like right then and there, I was already getting flashbacks from 5th grade. And so over time, we ended up becoming best friends. Like what happened to me in 5th grade. We walked home together and he would wait for me. Some days I would wait for him, but either way, we waited for each other. We even had a handshake, which is kind of sad that I don't remember it anymore, but we used to have a handshake. And we would always do our little handshake before we went inside our like separate apartment buildings. Some days we stood outside my apartment and we would talk and talk until my mom told me, get in the house! And I'd have to go in the house. But he didn't care. It was a nice friendship. And over time, of course, I did develop feelings because have you met me? But me being me, I didn't want to tell him. But I had my reasons for not wanting to tell him. Because 1, we were really good friends and I just didn't want to ruin that friendship we had. And 2, because I wasn't allowed to date anyhow. So like, if I'm not allowed to date anyhow and he like ends up not liking me back either, it's like I could have just literally just left that alone and like left that in the drafts. So a couple more months goes by. A new girl moves on the block. That new girl was actually one of my friends. And so instead of the 2 of us walking home together, now it was the 3 of us. And low-key, I started to get jealous, which I really shouldn't have, but I did. I didn't show it, but like inside, I kind of was jealous because there'd be some days where like she would walk home with him and like I'd kind of be like behind them. Like they would be in front of me and then I'd be behind them. Like a third wheel. even though nobody was dating. So yeah, I low-key got kind of jealous because like she was getting some of the attention that I was getting, when at first I was getting all the attention. I couldn't let that slide. But like I said, I didn't want him to know how I felt about him. So I also had to keep that to myself as well. There's just so much stuff that I had to keep to myself, and I think that's why I'm so traumatized. But that was until one fateful day when we got each other's snaps. And then I got jealous. Not like that, not like that, not like that. We started texting each other and communicating outside of school. And then one night, the conversation between us got really deep, like really personal. And somewhere along the convo, it came out that I liked him, and apparently he liked me back. Oh! He told me that he had actually liked me for a while, and he just didn't want to tell me either. So, how ironic is that? I was sitting behind my phone screen, I said, oh, we finna get drafted. We made it. We on the bench. We're next. We are at the hoop. Ball is around the rim. We are in, baby. We are in. Then he told me he had a dream about me. And I was thinking to myself like, oh, that's so cute that you had a dream about me. I dream about you too. Now see, this is what happens in every love story. It gets good. It gets really good. It gets really, really good. And then shit goes south. I asked him, so what was your dream about? He told me the dream was about sex. He wanted to have sex with me. And I was like, well, I mean, that's cool, I think. I don't know. That's cool, but like I actually wanted like I wanted a relationship where we like went to the movies and like played video games and like hung out and stuff and ate ice cream. Like it was like, what you have is cool, but here's what I was thinking. And it was at that very moment that we had reached a crossroad, because he wanted intimate relations, I wanted pizza and video games, and we could just not come to an agreement. And so I guess after he realized that I wasn't compromising anything, he stopped talking to me, and we fell off, and it went another good friendship down the drain. This happens way too often, like way more than it should. And the fact that it happened to me, and then I was really heartbroken, and it took me a while to recover from that, because I just felt like it was my fault that things didn't work out between us. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Girl, I can't either. And the way that I know that it wasn't my fault is this. Later on down the road, I tell my homegirls how I felt about him. One of my best friends, I gave her his snap, and she talked to him, and like they became friends up until the point where he had asked her if she wanted to do the same thing that he wanted to do to me, but I wouldn't let him. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay? I see you see me. We're on the same page here, right? They became friends, and just like he did me, he asked her if she was down to do the dirty, and she said no because she's smart. My best friend, her. It's like, so not only did you try to do it with me, but now you try to do it with my best friend. I can't win for losing, can I? Where are they now? You're probably asking yourself, now that we've reached the end? I have not a clue nor a care in the big wide ocean blue. I don't go. That has been all of my relationships slash sort of relationships slash not really relationships slash just really embarrassing altercations that I had. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this video and the end of this series. If you've stuck around with me that long, if you liked it, please let me know by liking this video, leaving a comment, and of course subscribing to my channel. And of course, don't forget to check out some of my other videos. I will see you guys next time with another video, and remember, don't give men a chance, don't give them privileges, not today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. Yeah, bye bye.